Hello, first graders. Our vocabulary story for the week is called One Giant Leap. Listen carefully for the vocabulary words as they appear on the screen in front of you. One giant leap. Would you like to travel to the moon? Only a handful of people have ever made the trip. The first people to walk on the moon were Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. They made their famous walk on July 20th, 1969. These men were part of a project called Apollo 11. The United States had sent men into space before. However, no one had ever walked around on the moon. The goal of this project was to send men to the moon and get them home safely. The journey began on July 16th, 1969. Aldrin, Armstrong, and a pilot named Michael Collins lifted into Earth's atmosphere in a spaceship. The spaceship carried a special craft. This craft would come apart from the main spaceship. It would carry Aldrin and Armstrong to the moon's surface. 4 days after leaving Earth, the small craft left the main spaceship. Collins stayed in the main spaceship to make sure it stayed safe. He watched the small craft below. However, the craft looked miniature against the moon's vast surface. It finally landed. Soon, Armstrong climbed out wearing his spacesuit. He looked at the strange and beautiful landscape. He took a few steps. Then he said these words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Back on Earth, millions of people heard him on the radio and on television. Soon, Aldrin climbed down to the moon's surface. The men began to explore. They could not walk or move very quickly. Their spacesuits were clumsy and the ground below them was slippery. They felt light as they walked, but the two men picked up rocks and dirt to bring back home. They took photographs. They even spoke to the President of the United States on a special telephone. Finally, after 2 hours, the men climbed back into their spacecraft. While they were moving around, however, an accident happened. One of the men broke part of an important machine. This machine was supposed to help them lift off from the moon and return to Earth, and now it did not work. For a moment, the men feared they would be stuck. Thankfully, they worked together. They made a decision about how to fix the problem. They used a simple pen to fix the machine and lift off. Back in the main spaceship, the three men spoke again to people at home. Collins thanked everyone who had built the spaceship, prepared them for their trip, and given them advice in space. He said that without them, the journey would not have been possible. Finally, on July 24th, the men landed safely back on Earth. People all over the world cheered for Aldrin, Armstrong, and Collins, and for their exciting, important trip.